Champ Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neal Ruhl. Live on the Woodward Sports Network, 99.1 and 93.5 The Roar, the Woodward Sports app, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Let's talk some sports. It's Big D Energy.
Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network.
Big
Neal
D.
Ruhl. Thank the Lord above that DMac, Darren McCarty, is off the golf course. He is back here. Sam Flannel's in the house. Spencer Raxter as well. And before we get into all of it, DMac, I believe the song goes, you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah, that's the way the song goes. And damn it, I don't know what I have until it's gone. And thank you for coming back.
I just want you to know.
Thank you.
Now you understand while you're away, sometimes you come back and the pontoon's in the shop, getting some repairs done, whether it's to the engine or maybe some of the aesthetics. You got to witness and appreciate why the only great easy thing are over easy eggs in the morning, right? But the kid tries. I like the fact that somebody said in the chat as I was perusing, which shout out to Detroit Dabber, first in the chat, by the way. I was perusing and it said that Easy had a young kid moment last night or understanding. And I said, and
it's all the time with this guy.
Well, listen, you know what? It's got to be tough learning all these different languages across the world travel. Now, the time changes, scramble his brains and stuff like that.
He does spend a ton of time in Sweden.
Hockey to baseball to football to baseball to whatever else to MMA or whatever the heck he's doing. So, yeah, I'm happy to be back though. Happy to be back. Great time west side of the state yesterday. Shout out to everybody at the Puff and Putt and. As you can see right here, I got added another toy to the collection. This is the Raging signed by Tommy Chong. So I made Neal, and you know how this goes. I made the longest putt of the day. It was probably 90-footer on the ninth hole. And the only reason I bring that up is because we make that putt for eagle on the ninth hole when you have a crowd around. It's
always the best.
That's always the good part. He always said because it's coming in, and we'll be out up in Frank and Muth on Thursday with the heroes, alumni, everybody, Ronnie Cyrus, and the veterans and stuff like this. But it's always fun when you do it to pop the boys. So we had a great time. So look forward to Thursday.
Well, while you were having a, quote, great time, there was me here with Easy. And I mean, judging by the social media stuff, I mean, thousands of views on the video about our discussion about Joe Dumars. And it was a very divided crowd. The anti-Joe Dumars was a great GM crowd, shared a certain demographic that was consistent. We'll just say it like that. I believe that's the proper way to say it. You know, most people were like, yeah, you're right, and Easy's wrong. But what do you expect? Easy's a kind of guy that says, hey, Pistons should sign James Harden to a max deal. These are the takes you get.
When you have the choice of James Harden or DeAndre Ayton and stuff, the low-hanging fruit, right, that terminology in broadcasting, which is always the easy target or going for what's the easy pop. Sometimes I think Easy just does that without thinking it all the way through. But a lot of time, Neal, you brought up a great point. Right, we're in 2022. The Joe Dumars experience 20 years ago, right? Look at all these kids that were 5 and 10 years old now that have. But what I'm saying is now you're processing it differently, but you didn't see it the same way, and that's why we're here with you. Draft capital, salary cap, going back to the different facts. So I just think at the end of the day, it was more of behind-the-scenes stuff that Joe had to suck up that wasn't public knowledge that we're more privy to as time goes on, which explains the why. Not the right or the wrong. Everybody can have their opinion, but when you understand the why, it makes a little bit more sense later on down, and this is 20 years later.
Bob Johnson says, Neal, you acted like a whiny child yesterday that couldn't get his way. You are in my house. If you don't like it, you can't play with my toys. I'm not anti-Joe Dumars, but have to be real. Joe sucked even before the ownership change. You mean like when he went to 6 straight Eastern Conference Finals and won an NBA championship and didn't have an Isaiah Thomas or anything, like hand-built the team through trading? Just let me get it straight, Bob. That's the part where he sucked, right? You wanted 8 straight Eastern Conference Finals. You wanted multiple championships. You it wasn't good enough to beat Shaq and Kobe in their prime. Like I want the ground rules, Bob. You tell me. I don't want to be a whiny child. So you please tell me what sucked.
You ain't got to lie, Craig.
That's it. You ain't lying. It's just spitting the facts of everything else and the team that he put together and whatever. This is the ongoing. It's going to be an ongoing. This is a pretty good, divided, like you said. The fan base is sort of divided on whether it was acceptable or not. You're consistent, Neal. That's all I can say. You know, you're consistent at your takes, and I don't think it's whining. You're like me, is that, wait a sec, hold on. Is it whining or is it true? Because if it's true, that can't be
Because
whining.
if it doesn't fit your narrative, it's like everything else. It doesn't fit your narrative, so it's whiny. It's like when I hit easy or people with facts and all they have is like that's just all they say to you. I'm like, no. Your response to the following point: the Pistons team was an asset. They didn't want more liabilities on the asset they were about to sell. Your response to that? There was no response.
Can we take? Okay, because here's the thing that drags everything down. And even though we won a championship with Darko on the roster, the fact Joe Dumars drafted Darko and what he didn't draft, so everybody, it's the black hole conveyor belt of the universe of the Darko pick sucks. Everything great. Joe
Why?
Dumars.
You won a championship.
I'm giving you the why of people because they can't, because that's the way it is. It's the same thing as if this regime was stuck here. Why we have to explain, well, this isn't this guy's guy. He didn't draft him. He didn't sign him. He didn't do anything. More times than not in this city with our major sports teams, our general managers have been bailing water out of the boat before they can even start doing something. And I just think that the whole Darko thing of the whole fat guys like Spencer, because we missed out on his boy Carmelo, and because just different things like that, Neal, is why people will never let it go. And it's not right, in my opinion, because that's one bad move. But again, was it a bad move because they still won the championship?
Pistons fan 11, not easy. Talking about BTE, that's bad take easy. Not only sign Harden, but don't draft Ivy because he, quote, needs the ball. Because, Harden famously doesn't need the ball. That's exactly my point, Pistons fan 11. That's exactly my point. But, we talked about this at length yesterday, and, it was a good time. And we had a lot of fun.
I'm glad you guys are. Yeah, you know what? That's it. If I'm not here, enjoy yourself.
Enjoy yourself.
Hey, listen, my notifications didn't go off. And by the way, great photo of very rarely, Neal, do you get caught with your WTF face, and that was your WTF face.
I couldn't believe what I was listening to. It's rare. It's rare, and I admitted this too. I said that was one of the few times in this realm, and you and I have done this in a previous life together, even through the Jim Harbaugh stuff when we were working at the ESPN affiliate in town, even through all that, emotion never took over, because emotion doesn't pay the mortgage. Emotion doesn't pay the car payment. Money does. That's how that stuff works. But yesterday, emotion did take over for a couple. I'll be honest about it, because people were saying that. But in the end, we got it back on the rails.
But you've also laid down the gamut that there will be no Joe Dumars trashing on this show.
But that's a maxim that's been on this show since I sat on the studio on August 9th.
There's that one. Who else?
There'll be no Isaiah Thomas slander.
Right.
Mountain West.
There will be no slander on the Mountain West, at least in football.
Yeah.
There will be no Mountain West football slander ever. Because
not when you're like a combined record 17-5. Now
right.
I know that there's other things in there, but that's the just of the double furnace.
Absolutely, it's not by accident. But yeah, The away fan, Neal, where's your hat, man? You look naked without it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I did the hair today. I was in that mood. I got out of the gym where I saw Corey Woods, by the way, in Planet Fitness today. We are live at the Planet Fitness studios, and he was another one. Again, the whole Joe Dumars thing where he says he, quote, caught lightning in a bottle that year. That team caught lightning in a bottle. Over 6 straight Eastern Conference Finals and an NBA champion, that's a hell of a bolt of lightning in a hell of a big bottle, man.
Well, I mean, people are going to agree to disagree about, where the percentage is on. You're trying to grade the job he did. And I wasn't trying to. The biggest mistake he made was drafting Darko. There were other ones there, but it wasn't. When you're getting results and you're putting the team together that you put together and you're getting people to show up, because it doesn't end well, right? Whenever it doesn't end well, then the glory years are sort of.
But see, here's the deal too. With every GM in every sport ever, even careers, with maybe like the exception being Barry Sanders, who just said, I'm out. It always ends badly. Or guess what? It doesn't end. Like that's a maxim of life, man. All things end badly, or they don't end. How else is it going to end? What's going to happen in Golden State? Who we were talking about their GM yesterday. Tremendous job of drafting. You can't deny it. Mm-hmm. Can't deny it. And they didn't do it with the number 1 overall pick or the number 2 overall pick. But how's it going to end in Golden State, Spencer?
It's going to have to end badly. I mean, it's going to have to end with Jordan Poole leaving, Kuminga and Wiseman not working out. I mean, if that's the closest end after, Curry and Clay and Draymond, and they've moved on
by the
from
way,
their primes.
they took Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah.
And who's going to win the NBA championship this year? Who's the betting favorite to win the NBA championship?
Warriors.
Oh man, their GM should get roasted for taking Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah.
He's trash, bro.
James Wiseman has only played like 20 games or 30 games.
Yeah, that's another top. That's a top 3 pick right there, right? That's a trash GM, bro.
I think Kuminga is going to be a good player. I don't, but I think with Wiggins and all their wing depth, he didn't really have time to slide in there.
But that's my point, though, about it. A, it only ends badly, and B, there is not a GM in the history of business, sports, or otherwise that has a 100% track record, that bats 1,000. It's impossible. Yeah. There's 2 trash picks by Golden State. What's their penalty? Oh, probably the NBA title this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's like you said, things don't end on a good note. You're not going to get fired if you're doing things great all the time.
Yeah.
But then, going back to the salary cap, that's sort of like watching, because I'm sitting here listening, and you're listening to a team that arguably for a bunch of years up against it with the talent level they had in Golden State, where they're supposed to be perennial champions, LeBron goes to LA, run into it, but still to be able to draft and have guys that are on your roster, it comes down to salary cap. And how doesn't it come down? What I'm hearing is how you spend that big money. Who do you put that big money into, right? Because that's such the big decision. The big decision isn't really how you draft and how you incorporate guys into your system and how they're going to come up. It's what do you do with the money? Are we not agreeing with Golden State's situation because they got their big 3 and everything else, and then eventually you got a Jordan Poole who is the next up-and-comer part of the ingredients, so that's when it shifts down. So the interesting part is how does their GM, right? This is where he's got to do the GMing for the next contracts, correct?
Right.
And then that's where we see the greater teams, or the teams that do it on the next level, come through this not unscathed, but less scathed, right? So that's what we're sort of hoping to. And I think back to Joe Dumars, the point is that there was scathing all around near the end, right? You know what I'm saying? To your point, that's usually the way that it happens. So it's interesting to see, because when it doesn't happen that way and they are able to make trades or sign a good guy, no matter what team it is, that's when the GM gets his flowers.
Harley Fife on our YouTube chat thread says, what's the Detroit Pistons salary situation right now? This year at like practical cap space, like in terms of money that's not being held or held over right now, they got about 30-ish million in cap space this year. And here's the deal too, where Troy Weaver and Steve Yzerman will come into this as well. now that there's been kind of a financial flush, because after next year, the Pistons have over $100 million in cap space.
And that's the big year, right?
But the problem is there are many teams that have a ton of cap space next year. This year, there's not a ton of teams that have a lot of cap space. So Troy Weaver has to balance that, right? When we look at this whole DeAndre Ayton situation or what's going on with that, how do you want to do? Do you want to sit on it? Do you want to wait for next year when you have the potential to take on a supermax guy and then another, complimentary Jeremy Grant type player? That's where he will make his decision, much like Yzerman will have the $55-60 million in cap space.
So just, I know we got to go to break.
Yes.
But this question that it just came sort of into my head about where the cap space is. The most important thing where you said so other teams will, but won't Detroit in the next year, their job isn't to sign the guy this year to the contract, it's to make it a destination place, right? In a year from now, couldn't Detroit Pistons be a destination for some of these big guys as opposed to in the past just because of the talent? That's what I'm looking to see. Oh, okay. And guys actually wanting to come here and we have money to spend. That's the next level into what the Golden State Warriors do or why they're good, right? Because guys want to come here.
And the bottom line through all of it is they had a good GM, but it's going to end badly because it ends badly for everybody.
Yeah.
That's the way that it works, especially in salary cap era. Everybody's impressed that you're playing the role of peacemaker for a change.
But here's the whole thing, right? Where the more impressive thing every time you do this, I look at who's the best GM that I think out there is obviously Steve Yzerman, and you look at the assets that he's gained himself. So even that Troy Weaver's going to have $100 million in the next year, look what Stevie's got now and into the next year, which is even more. And being considered a great GM or somebody who's done this, isn't that scary? Isn't that awesome?
No, because he gave Stamkos the bag and gave Kucherov the bag and gave Vasilevskiy the bag. And oh, by the way, it looks like it's been working out. Let me tell you about the Sports Marketing Agency. They help spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse disorder. Their new podcast, This is the F Word, helps spread awareness on fentanyl and other addictions that, let's be real, folks, are plaguing our communities today. Go to thesportsma.com. Again, that's thesportsma.com if you're struggling or if you know somebody who is. The Sports Marketing Agency is here to help.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Summer in the D is just around the corner, and Woodward Sports is ready for all the heat. Go Tigers! From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Neal Ruhl here for oddstrader.com, the #1 site for all your game day betting action. Start your handicapping journey at oddstrader.com. Play-by-play updates, live scores, bet tracking. You can do it all. Download the OddsTrader app from the App Store today. Here's the biggest thing, guys. It'll get you the best price on every game. If you're doing this, like if you're being serious about it, don't give money away. Get the best price when you get the action down. Sign-up offers, the best ones at all the sports books. oddstrader.com. Player stats, key game stats. oddstrader.com. You notice a trend here, guys. Use a bet tracker to keep records of all your games and all your betting activity at oddstrader.com. Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Tigers lost last night. I'm taking one segment on them, but let me clean up a couple of the comments right here. Bob Johnson. It wasn't just Josh Smith. It was Charlie V, Ben Gordon drafting Brandon Knight, Greg Monroe, etc. Bob, this is the last time I'm talking about this. You're thinking along linear patterns here. For the last time, the Ben Gordon and Charlie V thing were forced upon him. They sat out free agency for 2 years. Then they came to him and said, hey, you can spend money now, but you might not be able to later. They were selling the team. They were selling the team. All right? It's not linear here. There are things behind the scenes that go on. We're done talking about it. That's my last piece on it. We're done.
Okay.
All right? We're done. Tigers, they lose last night, but hey, they tried really hard. And they came back, and, they got the game tied and everything like that. But in the end, they lost. And look, I'm not breaking down this game or anything like that. Miguel had a couple of hits, though. Most consistent hitter on this team, man.
Schoop hit a home run. Schoop
yeah,
hit a home run.
Yeah, hit a home run. Okay, that's cool. Here's the deal. And this popped in my head last night. I'm terrified that Alavila's going to get a free pass.
Too much quiet.
I'm terrified he's going to get a free pass because of the injuries. I want it on the record. I want you not to forget the way this team was trending before everybody started to get hurt. Okay? And for those of you that want to say, well, Riley Green was hurt before, anybody who was counting on Spencer Torkelson and Riley Green, two rookies, you were going to hit a rookie parlay, and that's what you were banking your hopes on for this team to make the playoffs. And don't be one of those people that run away and say, well, Neal, I never thought that they were going to make the playoffs. Wrong. We did the show opening day from downtown, and I get, you're going to have a little hopium curve on the opening day show. I get that. But through all that, everybody who talked about it, remember this. Jeimer Candelario was your cleanup hitter on opening day, and it wasn't good enough then, and it's not good enough now. And you know what? The Red Wings and Steve Yzerman, he gave you guys the pound of flesh.
The writing was on the wall because of your Candelario statement. But here's why Alavila can no longer be your GM. And yes, you should be scared.
There should be a pound of flesh.
There's no inkling it ain't about the injuries. They just released the top 100 prospects in the minor leagues, right? Which, hey guys, Riley Green is number 2. Right? But guys, the number 2 Riley Green, when he's healthy, is going to be a Tiger. So he's not a minor league prospect anymore as far as the reason is. Can we all agree that he'd be here if he wasn't hurt? Right? Job, who's a pitcher we drafted, high school pitchers, ranked 34th. That's your only 2. So we went through this list compiled of the Cy Young guys and the guys we traded and who we have back. We have no system, Neal. No system other than drafting, but we got nothing coming up. So the fact is that if you could say, okay, well, this is what I was hamstrung with the ownership to put this major league team on, but in every other case, there's things coming down the line except the Tigers. They have nothing. So what are you waiting for? What are you saving for? He's not a guy that at least is stockpiling your minor leagues, right? There's nothing. The cupboard's bare. You're empty. Saltine and water, ramen noodles. We're there. We're there. Pinching pennies. So the sooner we get rid of them, the sooner you can get a fresh taste. We're talking about it. You mentioned pound of flesh. What did we say as far as we needed one for the Red Wings, right? And what did I say? Unless it's detrimental to the team and Steve thinks that it would move this team forward, you're not going to see a move to the end of the season. When did he make the move, Neal? The day after the season. Because why? It's in the game plan. It's in the hopper. But you look at everything. All we talk about every other day is sending Easy to Sweden to watch all the young guys, and we're wondering who's the next coach. Is it going to be for Lunda? What is it going to be? Who's coming? The Tigers, you got Dick freaking Butkus everywhere. So enjoy Miguel counting his hits and hitting these singles and stuff like this. Because you got one major league all-star on your team in Tarek Skubal, who you don't know what you got with Mize, Manning. They're hurt. Everybody's hurt. Get this guy out of town so at least we can have a fresh start and get the stank out of it, because there's no improvement. Or you tell me what. Because your improvement is if you're waiting on your number 34 and Job to pitch, that's a 3-year deal. There's nothing there, and there's nothing coming. So get out of Dodge. That's why. And you're right more than not.
Damn. Did you hear that, Sam Flannel? Like that literally hit me in the head like a hammer. For DMac to say, there's nothing there.
Nothing, Neal.
And there's no one coming.
2 prospects in the top 100. Jackson Jobe isn't going to be here for 3 years. Riley
He's a
Green,
true prospect.
Yes.
He's a true prospect, right? God bless. A true prospect. Your number 2 guy, the only reason he's not on your roster and not even on this list is because he was hurt. It's just a matter of time. So he's not even a prospect anymore. You're hanging hope. It's so bad. And then you're going to want me as anybody who knows, the Detroit Tigers are my number 1 love my whole life, right? And then you're going to serve me this, and so I got to look at the weather and just say, hey, man, I got to go down and get a dog or some, candied almonds or something.
Which I will. I'll go a couple
I'll do
times.
that when it's like, hey, you want to go sit outside and watch? Who's coming into town? Remember this game? Hey. Who's the away team? Who do we get to see? Because that's what we're going to be playing. And you know what? We're not just playing it. We thought we were done playing it before. We're not just done playing it this year. We're done playing it for a long time with this guy here. That's because it's proof. Just keep running it. Redundant. Let's just keep doing it. And then next year we'll be here again. And Neal, here's the thing. Doesn't it seem like it's getting worse?
But that's my point.
Doesn't it seem like it's getting worse?
There will be no free passes issued here at this desk. There won't be, because I was skeptical coming in, and there's receipts for that. I know everybody was fired up.
And everything's hid behind Miggy setting Hall of Fame things. That's the buffer with the 3,000 to 6. No, I understand.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's over.
Jack Harrington, do you trust?
Yeah. Oh, see this, guys? I got a new one right there. DMac was right. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Clocks. Right. Wait till Easy's here. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to pull it up. I'm like this. But anyways, I'm right about this. 100 million%.
Jack Harrington. And here's the question. Jack Harrington, do you trust Chris Ilitch to fire Avila?
No.
I don't think it's going to happen,
No,
man.
because that's his puppy.
Oh, is this my severance check? That's it?
We're out?
Well, guys, good run, everybody. I'll be at the golf course.
I'll be Naomi. You be Sasha.
If somebody over at the Orchards is watching, I'm going to need about a 12:50 tea time. All right?
Night. Oh, you're going to get lunch?
Yeah, I'm going to grab something to eat real quick. So,
all right, we're out.
guys, it was real. Appreciate y'all. I enjoy the relationships that we formed. It's been a good run. But that's it, everybody. Have a great day.
You know what's the worst part about the Tigers is they can't acquire any more prospects either because nobody on this roster is trade-worthy. Who are we going to trade
Nobody's
for
on this
prospects?
roster is trade-worthy, and they'd rather go to Pittsburgh or Cincinnati.
Yeah. Who are we going to trade? Scope? Robbie Grossman, who's hitting 195?
Here, let's bring it back to reality. Flannel, are we off? What? How do you see this? Talk to me like, the college professor I never had.
I mean, I think Al Avila should have been gone years ago, personally, because, first of all, he has never won a single trade, ever. Not one. Daz Cameron, Jake Rogers on line one.
But where are we at now? Are you afraid, to Neal's question?
Oh,
Are you afraid that he's going to get a free pass and we're just going to be
He's going to get a free pass.
I am absolutely afraid. I am terrified. I am shaking in my boots. I'm getting nightmares because it's been a 7-year rebuild and we've done absolutely nothing. Nothing.
Poll question?
Yeah. All right.
Are you afraid Al Avila is Al Avila going to get a free pass this year?
Yeah. Will Al Avila get a free pass? I guess that's going to be confused with should Al Avila get a free pass. Not should Al Avila get a free pass. Will Al Avila get a free pass? Because I believe that he will. And they'll point to injuries. No one will mention the fact that Eduardo Rodriguez represents 10% of the payroll. That's not what I think. That's what I know. That's what I know. Is he a 10% of your
Can
payroll
we cut
guy?
that too, because that was really good. That was like harmony. That was like grinder harmonies coming together with the band practice and stuff.
No, but that's what it is. And the early returns aren't so good.
You know what we need to do, Neal? We just need Al to come on in here. Not to come on the show or anything, but come on in. Lady Jane's Haircuts. Yeah, because we broadcast from the Global Studio, 168, all across this great country. Maybe Al just needs the king's treatment and a haircut. What do you think? Just like you do. So you can do like we do any day of the week. You walk in, you sit down, you sign in before you know it. Sports on the TV. getting clean, nice to attack the day, no matter who you're cheering for or wishing, was fired. Yes, Lady Jane's open 12 to 8, 7 days a week. So get in there. Why? It's wicked awesome. Big D Energy, Neal Ruhl, DMac, and the fellas. We'll be right back. Woodward Sports Network.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brandon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
I'm way more fired up about this. Welcome back, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Even when my name's Neal Ruhl, that's DMac. You guys know the players by now. Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. Even more so than when we write these things down on paper or we discuss it going in or saying, hey, I think I want to touch on this at some point. When we started talking about it, I got chills when DMac said, there's nobody coming. And there's not.
There's no reinforcement.
There's not.
You're pinned down, right? Waiting for the reinforcements from, the Marines are going to come save you or whatever.
DMac, I'm getting chills right now thinking about it. And you have Eduardo Rodriguez making 10% of your cap.
I know the Ewoks were tough and stuff, but it's pretty much you got a bunch of stuffed animals, going to bail you out.
You have Eduardo Rodriguez making 10% of your cap, everybody. You have Javi Baez at just under 15% of your cap. Like, those are and no one's coming. No one's coming to help.
There ain't an easy way out. There's no way out. There's no way out because Spencer nailed it. Tradable. There's no way out because you're strapped with the cap. There's no way out because no one's going to take any of this money. You got to eat all this stuff, and then at the end of the day, who's pushing any of these guys out of their job other than their contract expiration? Or, okay, Neal, these guys suck so much they get reassigned or whatever, and guess what? What happens in baseball with the money? Oh, you have to pay it. You have to pay it.
And then that begots hiding behind that, where we have these obligations on the books. And look, Baez has an opt-out after 2023 where he's going to be 31 years old. He ain't opting out of that. Like, you're hooked, bro.
Here's the difference, too. And a Troy Weaver and a Steve Eisman, when we're looking at the options, they would be team options, not player options. When it's a player, right? Because half of these contracts, if it was a team option, then you've seen how they've set it up to put money back in because they can say, okay, no.
This is now that we're talking this through.
This isn't even scary. This is terrifying.
It is. It's terrifying to me, DMac. And look, I live in this world.
Broken Matt Hardy.
That was a good one.
Delete.
Like, I live in this world, right? Cap percentage and contracts. And I didn't even see it this way.
This is like somebody coming to me and talking about things that go on in the greenhouse or whatever like this. And I'm going, oh my gosh, you live here.
Yeah.
And not the media. I mean, the cap space, the draft capital. That's where you are. And if you're sitting over there and I can see.
Yeah, dude, it's fear.
I can watch you go, oh my gosh. It's like dehydration.
Yeah.
Right? You are just sucked of everything more than anything else. And I think, and isn't Avila the easiest to get rid of?
That's I want a pound of flesh.
I understand, but
I want a pound of flesh
in the organization. But I'm saying to any of the GMs in this town and to anybody that we're looking to who needs to have been gone, Sam brings up, I don't think he should have been here for 5 years.
Well, Sam starts breaking it down again. You can't argue that. Now, Easy will probably come in here and try to tell you that Al Avila's a good GM because that's the kind of dude he is. You can't refute anything that Sam Flannel said. You give it to him again, Sam. Come on. Name me the trade he won. Name me one.
He has never won a trade in his entire tenure as the Detroit Tigers general manager. Dawel Lugo, Alcantara, Jake Rogers.
Two
Alcantaras. Daz Cameron on line one. Alex Lang. All of those players were traded for Hall of Fame superstars.
At what point do you have to be good at the job? At what point?
Apparently you don't if you're Al Avila.
Then why do we care? At what point do you have to be good? At what point do you have to win something?
I mean, obviously you don't. So this brings up a bigger question, right? Because it doesn't matter. Does this not put the writing on the wall even more so of AJ Hinch opting out at the end of the season?
And that's the other thing.
Yeah, and then what happens when he's gone? Because he's your best player.
James Gurn says that Avila shouldn't. But they better not lose AJ Hinch. You better get someone on that level if he bolts.
I've heard this take, and I agree with it. The best thing Chris Ilitch could do is walk into AJ and say, here's what I want to do. I'm going to fire Al. Give me your list. I'm going to give you all. I want you to sign an extension, and we'll go out and you can pick the next GM. So you can have your buddy. You can have whatever else. But the only way is, and that's the only way you can sign the most important person in your organization right now.
And James Gurns, if that happens, watch this show the next day. Watch it. Watch it. If AJ Hinch bolts, watch this show the next day. Because
but Neal, let's think if you're AJ Hinch, so these things are in front of you every day. We're just breaking it down now and becoming aware to it, and look at how distraught you're getting. So he's sitting there, and you can hear it in his voice, right? And it's just like the searching for clue that doesn't have the answer.
Does he seem broken to you? He does to me a little bit.
It's the internal
or out of answers.
It seems like I don't know.
Yeah, like he's a man that looks like he knows.
Like he's like you and I were I think it's something where I ask you a question and for whatever else, but if you don't know, it's like, no, dude, I really don't know. Okay. I think that if you, like his inner circle's like, dude, I have no idea.
I wonder about that.
I think he's got the guys in the bullpen with their hats on backwards on one leg, drinking tequila, just like in, tin cup and stuff like this, trying to do different things, but it's not good.
Here's a question to you directly, DMac, and I'm curious to get your take. Chuck Brewer says, nothing we have been shown by Chris shows that he's able to make the hard calls. At DMac, should we be worried down the line that this could be the Red Wings' fate?
Absolutely not.
Why? Based on what?
Because it's different.
Why?
Because the Red Wings are the family business. The business of the family that's more, look at it like the mafia, that Steve Yzerman's been in the family since 1982. That this has sort of been the writing on the wall to whatever Mr. Ilitch. Mrs. Ilitch is the hierarchy of everything. When it comes to the Red Wings, Stevie's next in line. I think he's got more power. So when it comes to the hockey team, not to the business side and whatever else goes on, but as far as the calls on the hockey team, it is 100% Steve Yzerman's boat.
So if Steve Yzerman as GM of the Red Wings were a Steven Seagal movie, it would be above the law.
Oh,
he's above the law.
Should be, and you should feel great
100%.
about that. You should all feel 100%. That's why I'm so confident. I'm so confident because nothing's going to get in his way to accomplish what he... Look at the people he puts around, and he puts his own crew that he grew up with back in the streets, in the hood, that have done things together, and they've done successful jobs through their whole career. And now he put the whole crew back together to do it again. It's like Ocean's 11. Hey, guys, we got another job to do.
You know what's funny, DMac? The same terror that ran through my veins. This is weird. It's weird you have this much emotional control over me, number one.
It's the same comfort level you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome to my world. Hey, remember my new sign? I'm just saying. That's because that's when I put my head on the pillow at night, right? The no matter what, no matter how many frustrated, how many third period goals we give up this year, how there's regression, offensive, defensive side, whatever it is, at the end of the day, it'll get right. Why? Because I know who's the guy in charge and the person in charge. And in every other one, it's, I think more so with the Pistons that I see Tom Gores, the owner, as opposed to in the past, step away from Troy Weaver, where Troy Weaver has that control. I think still Gores has that control, but Steve Yzerman, owner, GM, owner. Does that make sense? In that, and that's the only way, and that's the way it should be. That's the way we always want it. But it's interesting in that way. It's the exact 100% opposite of the Tigers and the Lions, and they're owned by the same people.
Klompsaw says, so Yzerman is a made guy. He's a made guy.
He's always been. We all have been.
I can't believe, again, this roller coaster.
You really had to say that out loud. Say it out loud to yourself. Yzerman's a made, obviously, yeah.
This roller coaster of emotion that I've had in the last 15 minutes is incredible. It is. It's incredible to me.
That's what we do here, Big D Energy. Big D Energy, it's full of emotions. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down.
It is. It's incredible to me. I should have called you yesterday after dealing with Easy and some of the people on Twitter about Joe Dumars.
You went on a different emotions yesterday. I saw more anger or rage or just unbelievability. Today I had to take you to the worst and then bring you back to the light. I had to take you to the dark and bring you back to the light.
I have to admit this. And I told you guys I got upset yesterday with the thoughts about Joe Dumars. Happy birthday, Joe Dumars, by the way.
Happy birthday, Joe.
One of the greatest GMs in the history of the NBA. And obviously one of the greatest players in the history of the NBA. Happy birthday, Joe Dumars. Appreciate your work that you did, the service to the organization, both as a player and as a GM. Because, you delivered championships at both titles. But anyway, for me, I felt anger yesterday a little bit dealing with the people about Joe Dumars, but that pales in comparison to the anger that I felt about this whole Tiger situation because I didn't think. Sam, did you be real with me? We're friends here, man. We're all friends. You have to be. To do this job, you have to be friends to a degree.
Well, there's a lot of and to everybody else because there's trust. That's exactly what
bingo.
It is.
That's why.
It's the trust in friend as far as not only opinions, but trying to put something together. It's trust that we have each other.
Absolutely.
Back.
And I have a lot of trust in Sam Flannel's takes. And he's like the parent of the show, where he's the judge and the jury to me because he just lays it out. I don't agree with everything he says. He's a Michigan fan. I don't agree with everything he says.
Go.
But did you understand it like this? The way that my eyes were open. Did you understand it like this? I'm talking about the current state of the Tigers, long term.
It is. I kind of understood it, but just seeing the prospect list, seeing guys that have come up like Casey Mize that you don't know if they're going to pan out. Spencer Torkelson has started off slow. They have Jackson Jobe, and then Riley Green is going to come up. We hope that they're both good, but you don't know. And it just carries into the fact that he's had 7 years, and they don't seem to be that much better off. And he's never won a trade. He's had a lot of iffy draft picks. He's had some good ones. He's had Skubal. They're 14-27. You are what your record says you are at some point.
And we are at the quarter pole, by the way. We're past the quarter pole.
Yeah, and what is his record as a GM? His all-time record. It's like 300 and something and 500 and something. He presided over the 2019 team, which was one of the worst baseball teams I've ever seen, but you thought it's going to get better. 14-27. Man. This is year 7.
Spencer, I know we're a couple seconds late for the break. Did you realize it was this?
I know. I wasn't one of the people that thought they were going to make the playoffs, but I didn't think it was going to be this bad, and I didn't think it was going to be beyond the point of no return, where I thought Robbie Grossman and Jonathan Scope might have some trade value later in the year where we can get a prospect or two for those guys. But nobody wants those guys. Nobody's going to trade for those guys. They're bums. This Tigers team is full of bums, and we don't have anything in the wings waiting to come up. Like you said, if you were expecting Riley Green and Spencer Torkelson to come in and deliver us 80 wins on their backs.
Here's the kicker. Have we said easy anywhere there's baseball?
No. He's got to check out those Swedish baseball prospects.
But what I'm saying is that we got him doing football stuff. We got him traveling to Sweden, right? Not an inkling of a baseball game. That should tell you everything out there.
Joseph Austin says Neal has friends until they have a different take. No, Joseph, my friends can have a different take. They just got to pick up a bar tab every now and then. Then I'm down to roll. You can get right back in my good graces right quick. Summer of Cintron is here. It's not the summer of the Tigers, but it is the summer of Cintron. And now Cintron available at your local Kroger stores. That's right. 2 for $4 right now at your local Kroger store. So you have the ability to take over the summer of Cintron. It's the new energy drink for the active lifestyle. Drink it, live it with Cintron.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings, proud partners of the Detroit Pistons, and exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, Cintron is your top choice.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader Bet Tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
Neal Ruhl here for Wing Snob. I was told it takes a snob to know a snob. Hi, Neal Ruhl again for Wing Snob. Wing Snob, the best traditional wings. Try our signature sauces, the Jamaican jerk, the lemon pepper. Wings are tossed to perfection in any sauce you choose. When the wings are this good, you're allowed to be a snob. It's a fact. It's a fact. Look it up. Order online right now. It's lunchtime. Wingsnob.com. Wing Snob! We just have better wings. I don't know what else to say. Like, you don't be mad at me. Be mad at the truth.
Eat Wing Snob?
What's that?
Zalavili eat Wing Snob?
No, there's no way you could be that poor at trades if you ate Wing Snob.
Because you can't. That's just the snobbiness.
No.
You have to be. If you're snobby,
you have greatness in your life if you're eating Wing Snob.
And then you're pretty snobby if you're a great GM, right?
I would be.
Right?
I'm not even. I've been told I am snobby, and I'm not even a great GM.
Maybe you and 1-9 got something in common. He definitely eats Wing Snob.
YouTube chat thread. My apologies. The chat kind of rolled on me there, but the crux of the comment was, what's sad is the Tigers aren't even the worst team in baseball. And you know what? They're only 2 wins in front of a team that came out and told their fans, look, we quit in the Cincinnati Reds.
I didn't know that we were playing stay out of the basement.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Way to go, guys. I mean, because that's where we end up. Oh, we're not the worst team. And that's how sad it is if we relinquish to saying that. Oh, we're not the worst.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not here.
The friggin' Detroit Tigers.
Embarrassing. The YouTube chat poll, the question, will Alavila get a free pass? 55% of you say no, 45% of you say yes. And that's about in line with where I thought. I'm telling you guys, he's going to get a free pass. And you watch.
Wait, that perked me up because 55% of you think that he's going to be held accountable. And I'm like, I hope you're right. I just don't see it. There's no, it's so sad. And here's the thing, Neil, and somebody brought it up in the chat. If they were AJ Hinch, they'd think about walking now. What if he did? What if he just said, seriously, like, I'm out?
If he just chucked the deuces up?
It just, like, deuces. Like
if he hit him with this one, though.
Yeah. I like how you did that. You had to get 2 up there, so you had to really, you went into the diaphragm. I like that. But no, like, because if they continue and not show progress, and then I see some things in the chat, and it's just, it makes me cry. He goes, well, Scope's starting to hit, and Candelaria, he's been some part. You're talking about guys that would be coming off of benches for championship teams. And this is your cleanup hitter on opening day. That's where you're at. Reality.
I was told he's good. Were we not told that? I was told.
Yeah, well,
and yes, I can drop and I was told. When I've been sold a bill of goods, I can drop and I was told. And I guess that's my question. And James says that the Tigers are screwed if AJ walks, and that's what I think too. Yeah. That's facts. I'm terrified, man. I'm terrified. He's going to bounce, man. If he bounces, it's over.
Why? Okay, because the question is, why would he stay?
I got nothing for you, brother.
Somebody please tell me why he would stay.
Based on what?
Based on what? Oh, you're based on the... Okay, so even if you said, okay, the 3 next greatest Tigers of all time are going to be Torkelson, Green, and Tarek Skubal. There's 2 guys and a pitcher. And what else you got? Oh, you got 3 years. You might have another starter in Job. You got nothing.
Well, I was told they only had to win games at a 66% clip the rest of the way. When was I told that? It was, what, a couple weeks ago, right?
It was a couple of weeks ago. And may we remind you that no MLB team, except for the greatest of all time, wins 66% of their games. Was that 107 win pace?
Yeah, something like that. Neal needs a "I was told" sign. Just like
it would take up the whole screen. It would be in the millions.
Flash.
Yeah, it would be in the millions. It would just go like that across the whole screen. It'd be in the millions by after a week. Because I'm just going by what I was told.
Yeah, 66%. It's not too hard.
Isn't this one of the times where you make a change to rattle up the organization, to give it some sort of new hope? There's no new hope. There's nothing. It's the same old. Like I'm saying, at least isn't this when other teams, like, what are other Major League Baseball teams doing if Al Avila is their GM with this track record? Are there guys that wouldn't be held accountable? Like, I'm just saying, who else gets away with what Al Avila gets away with doing that job or not doing his job?
I just
think a change would bring some new hope, right? Anytime you have some sort of change, it brings in a new hope. So, but at the end of the day, it doesn't change. You got nothing in your system.
But I was prepared for it to not be what everybody thought it was, right?
We all were. We were all at opening day. We were all at opening day.
No, I was prepared physically. I was prepared mentally. I knew to take it with a grain of salt, but I just didn't know it was going to be this bad. And it's disheartening. And guys, I know we're staying on the topic for a while. I'm sorry, but it's a day of reckoning for me. Today, May 24th. Now, this isn't like calling the season dead, or I did that a while ago. It's not that. It's just give me something. You can't give me something to where I could wait till the bats wait. No, none of that. From a personnel perspective, from the top of the organization to the bottom, give it to me. Give it to me. And yes, I like Spencer Torkelson. I love that he walks, Sam Flannel. He will walk a ton. I love that. It fits baseball's mold. I'm excited about Riley Green. It's unfortunate that he broke his foot. But if you were counting on those two to flip the fortunes of a franchise, that's like betting on a 17-team parlay and saying, hey, I'll take care of my son's college right here. I just need the 17-teamer to hit that I put $3 on.
Yeah, that always works out.
Yeah, I took Winthorpe on the money line against Duke as part of that 17-teamer. I put $4 on it. It's going to get me back $1.4 million when I win.
They could get hot. Winthorpe can get hot.
Absolutely. They shoot threes at a 39% clip as a team. Yeah. But that's where it is that right now. Dan, DMac. God. DMac.
I know. It's sad.
Rack says, Easy's take. Wing snob wings are terrible. Those are the kinds of takes that he gives.
He doesn't even eat them when they're here. I mean, do you see that? He turns them down. He says they're not up to par.
Yeah. Man.
No, it's just sad because, and here's the thing. We're all willing. We've watched development. This ain't about the Torkelsons or whatever. We're going to give them time. We want to see them develop. We see that there's future in them. But again, here's the thing. How much development is he going to have with no talent around him?
Right. I just don't know what to do, guys. Like today was really disheartening for me. Like, it wasn't even the Joe Dumars thing, because you can't help people. You can't help what people do. But this was a damning show today, and it really brought the energy down.
But it's just the reality of where we're at. So how do we move beyond it? Because if it continues to go status quo like this, I think that the question that we're going to have is AJ Hinch Not is he going to go walk away at the end of his contract. Is he going to go now? And what does that mean? I just think, is this not, what does it hurt that Al deserves to lose his job. So if you want to use him as a sacrifice or whatever it is, now's the time to do it, because you are at the lowest of lows. In my opinion, it's only going to get worse. It's a tough thing. It's a tough thing everybody wishes. No matter if you're a Tiger, a Red Wing, a Piston, or a Lion, in the draft room, that you had Guardian Alarm, like we do here. Yes, Guardian Alarm, your local security experts that keep you safe and give you peace of mind, whether you're at home or on the road. Yes, 24-hour local monitoring to make sure everything that is important to you is safe. So if you want to be part of that Woodward Sports Network, Big D Energy team, you can. But I need you to call. Here's the number, 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
And where do we hide the flannels? Behind 1-800.
Stay out. Get out of my house.
He's just racking in days and days of those flannels. What day is it today?
62.
62. Wow. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. Tell them Big D Energy sent you.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports. Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Neal Ruhl here for Chili Peppers Tanning, where you can join the Pepper Club. Get your unlimited tanning options on. That's right, they'll beat all the best deals by at least $5. Chili Peppers has the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, and the darkest tan. 26 locations around Metro Detroit. More on the way. Go to chilipepperstanning.com. Find the one closest to you. Pulling up on the second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, DMac, Darren McCarty. We got Sam Flannel. We got Spencer in the building as well. And, hey, you know what? That was depressing, so let's move on.
Did you say Joe Dumar's birthday today? Also, happy 51st to Chris Draper.
Man, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, it does. He's older than all of us.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. The away fan. Neal, who are we going to take 8th overall in the NHL draft? Let's talk hockey. Who are they going to take, DMac? Some guy from Sweden,
you want
right?
me to get Easy in here right now to break it down?
No, I don't want Easy anywhere near here.
Yeah.
So
hey, how about this? A guy that's going to play.
Yeah, let's start right there, and then maybe we can go
how about
there.
This? He's going to be part of the assets in the farm system of the Red Wings, something the Tigers do not have.
Yeah.
Assets.
Scott Lofton. Maybe A.J. Hinch just isn't a good coach. He has basically the same team as last year, and they have regrets.
Exactly. They suck. God, nice take, bro.
Let's compare the resumes, shall we, between the two. Let's see who's the problem. Okay, real quick, YouTube. I'm changing the topic, guys. Don't worry. YouTube chat poll, real quick. Who's more of the problem? Al Avila or A.J. Hinch? You know, we'll do this one here for Scott Lofton.
Really?
This is a Scott Lofton poll. I feel bad that Spencer's even typing that right now.
That's what we do here. That's what we do.
I did want to get to this, and it's interesting to me because all of a sudden, kind of out of nowhere, we're seeing this discussion about the Big Ten right now. And football's driving the ship, and news should drop any day of the Big Ten's new media. It's not TV deals anymore. It's media rights deals. That's how they term it now because there's so much streaming involved in those kinds of things. There's a lot of talk about realignment for the Big Ten? Do they take away the divisions? How do they do all that? And I want to get the room's feeling on it. And when I say room, I mean you guys on the YouTube chat thread, people on Twitter, all that kind of stuff. I want to get everybody's temperature on it to where what should they do? What do you want to see done? Because look, they're saying the Pac-12 is going to do away with the divisions. The SEC's talking about having their own 4-team playoff within the SEC. There's a lot of movement right now. And by the way, I love that for the SEC. You know my thought. Like, they should just break away from the NCAA permanently.
When I heard that, dude, I was like, what do you got? You got connections down the SEC? Are you going to let us know that you got a new job? Did you get one of those $600,000 bowl jobs?
I should.
The new SEC championship bowl? That's right in your wheelhouse. But to that point, that's the best conference in college football that everybody watches, that gets all the primetime games or whatever, and it's just like keeping the money flowing and knowing with the NIL, it's sort of that they're having this conversation makes sense.
So I guess that's what it is. And, Spencer's a big Ten football guy, Michigan State guy, Sam Flannel, Michigan guy as well. Just in general, Sam Flannel, I'll put you on the spot a little bit. What should the Big Ten do?
I would probably go no divisions because I'm tired of seeing Northwestern and Iowa in Big Ten championship games. There are years where the best 4 teams or 3 are in the Big Ten East, but yet a mediocre Northwestern team or last year's Iowa team gets to play in the Big Ten championship game. I've seen some good Wisconsin teams get in, but by and large it's been Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan State. And then Wisconsin.
No, by and large, it's been Ohio State.
Well, that's very true. But when we're that's very true. But we're talking about like ranking them. It's been those 4 and then Wisconsin. So I'm sure you're tired of seeing Northwestern and Iowa in Big Ten championship games. You of all people, Neal.
Oh yeah, it's laughable. It's flat out laughable.
Wasn't Northwestern 8-5 one year and made the Big Ten championship game? Come on.
Yeah.
So you think they should seed them and then play off that way? Because my question to Sam would be: is it a whole thing about if you're looking at your best couple teams and supposedly be a Michigan, Ohio State? Well, we know Ohio State's going to continue, but Michigan obviously doing what it is, where we want those big games to be at the end of the year in the championship, right? Trying to get back to instead of being in the division and in the same side of the division, right? Is that what they're saying to do, to seed it then? Everybody just plays each other and...
But what I don't get about that, and this is where I'm curious, and this will go down into the weeds a little. Chuck says I take away the divisions, have your one game locked in at midseason, 2 best teams play for the league championship. And why does the team that is the 1 seed in this scenario, which you would assume beats the team that's the 2 seed, why should they have to validate their win? You know what I'm saying?
And I guess these are the questions. Yeah, no, exactly. These are the questions that go on. Well, what's the biggest? So my question is the way the system is now, what's your biggest issue with it?
My biggest issue is you have inferior teams getting a shot at the chin. Now they don't win it. Obviously, they never win because they haven't won ever. No, they never have, and they never will. Because it's teams like Iowa and things like that are in there, and Northwestern, as you said, and Wisconsin. With all due respect, I'll wait for the next big Wisconsin win to come. I always hear about Wisconsin, but I never see Wisconsin. Much in the same ilk as Iowa and Purdue. But for me, here's the deal.
Here's the thing, Neal, right? Does it really matter to any of these other teams what direction the top 4 teams in this conference decide, because they're just getting $60-some million every year through this new source, right? So the payday's there. So again, we're all talking about usually how are we going to revamp, how are we going to capitalize to make the most money for our programs. The bottom teams just need to go, whatever you want, because you're getting your bag. Every team gets $60-some million every year for this new agreement. I think that's where it changes, why you get these conversations like in the SEC having their own playoff. I think what you're gonna want to see for the excitement is at the end of the day for the championship Big Ten, it's 1 versus 2, no matter who that is.
Spencer, what about you, man? As a Michigan, what do you want to see?
I'd like to see them adopt the Pac-12's model. I think it's the Pac-12 that does the 3-5-5, where they have 3 guaranteed opponents every year. So that would be a rivalry game, stuff like that. So for Michigan State, it would be like a Michigan, you're guaranteed to play them every year. Penn State, you're guaranteed to play every year, and then like Minnesota or somebody like that. And then the other 5 switch every other year. So you play the other 5 teams every other year. So one year you have the guaranteed 3, you play 5, and the next year you have that same guaranteed 3, but you play the other 5. And I want them to get rid of divisions and just go off strength of schedule and wins and losses. So it's the 2 best teams in the Big Ten championship every year. I don't care if that's not fair for those lower teams who don't get enough recognition. You want to be good, beat the big dogs, you can play in the championship. If not, shut up, take your lickings, take your money, and go play in the Holiday Bowl. Go play in the Frito-Lay's Bowl. Go play in the Duke Mayo's Bowl. Like, this is about actual teams. It's about actualizing the most money out of the conference and actualizing the most teams that can possibly get into the college football playoff when it gets expanded. So I don't want to see Northwestern. I don't want to see Iowa in championships. I want to see the championship be Michigan versus Ohio State, or Wisconsin versus Ohio State, or Michigan State versus Ohio State. You know, Ohio State's always going to be
because they're always going to be in it, right?
So it's whoever's playing Ohio State at the end of the year.
But that's a great point you made, because it's all about the money, right? And it's all about, it's not about the games and stuff like this, all generating the money. So in saying that, every year, right, the Big Ten or whatever, because you go, okay, Northwestern, okay, go to your little bowl, right? you got your bag, you're good. Oh yeah, you got everybody packed because they got the bag. The money's been solved, right? The money has been solved. Instead of talking about conversations like we did about Central Michigan, how much they're going to get cut to go play in this bowl game and only get paid $100,000 instead of $1 million, like other things. No, the money's been paid. They're going to hand them and go down to your whatever bowl, doesn't matter what it is, and Northwestern's going to be thank you, because the money's already there. So now I see, maybe more as a fan, we will get the top competition each year. I like Spencer's point too. You want to be there, win.
Yeah.
Polaris Holmes says, I think Michigan and Ohio State, he says Michigan and Ohio because, you know, that's what they do. But I think Michigan and Ohio should be in different divisions. So that's a real poll question that I have for everybody. Would you be okay if Michigan and Ohio State didn't play each other every year? No. Would people be okay with that?
No, I don't think so.
Because, guys, here's the deal with all this. With all this talk about media rights deals and eliminating divisions, make no mistake, this is what it comes down to, all right? It doesn't matter what happens on the field. It's what the TV networks want and what gives the Big Ten the best chance to have a team in the playoff. That's what it is. That's what all this boils down to. Deep down in places that they won't tell you about, they don't care if Michigan and Ohio State play every year. They don't care. And you know what? I don't think the Big Ten cares either. But the thing is, Fox cares because the numbers are huge. But I think deep down, the Big Ten doesn't care either. You know what they want? They want 2 teams in the playoffs. That's what they want. They want what the SEC has had. Because in the end, it doesn't matter. Like, what happens doesn't matter. And I know on here, people are critical of the SEC and everything like that. But the one thing you can't dispute, when it comes down to it, the SEC wins. And they beat the Big Ten. That's what happens.
They win everything, not only on the field, but off the field, right? As part of the experience, as part of the stadium, as part of the ticket, as part of the TV rights, the streaming, all this other stuff. To your point, Neal, because the money's been, like I said, been spread out, all these other conferences, do you not agree that they all want to be the SEC? And because of this, if they do it right, not talent-wise, but structurally could be closer to what the SEC does, and maybe there's a continuity through college football, which hence, if they're playing off here and they're playing out, like something to be more of a playoff system that we're talking about, right? This leads more to having, 6, 8, 12 teams, but in a different way coming out of your region or your conference. It's a combination of sort of the NCAA basketball and the football, but why would it work? Because you got nobody saying that, because you can say to the little school or the school that's not that good, really, bro? Did you look in your bag? And that's the biggest difference of all. The $1 billion deal and the 60-some million going to each school every year.
And that's what it boils down to, because that's what it always boils down to. And how about this, Michigan fan? Because I know, that was a loaded question. I knew what it was going to be. 70% of you say, no, you're not okay if Michigan and Ohio State don't play each other. What if I hit you with this caveat? Because this is going to sound funny, because when we get into the season, I'm going to talk about it, because it is going to hurt them to some, but not to the people that matter. The people that dictate matchups and count the television money and all that kind of stuff. They won't care about Michigan's schedule. But see, here's the thing. What if I gave this to you, Michigan fans, where if you took away the fact that they weren't going to play each other in the regular season, and Michigan could roll out with the schedule of Colorado State and Hawaii and UConn and Maryland and Indiana, and yes, I'll put Iowa in there with those teams because that's what Iowa's proven out to be, and Rutgers and Nebraska and Illinois, because those are all games they're playing this year.
They're playing UConn?
Their non-conference this year is Colorado State, Hawaii, and UConn. And you parlay that with Illinois and Rutgers and Indiana and Maryland,
we're undefeated, though.
But see, here's the beauty of it, though, Michigan fans, and I'm giving you a path here. If you took away that Michigan-Ohio State game and said, no, you just have them play each other at the end of the year, you could lose the Ohio State game and possibly still get in the playoff. So theoretically, you would just have to beat Michigan State, and you could get in the playoff.
Good luck.
Or you know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, I know.
Because I know the Michigan fans, they're leading the no, we have to play Ohio State. Michigan fans, be ready for this, because that's the path. That's the path to where you could play a schedule a lot like you're playing this year. And you could still get in with a loss to Ohio State.
Yeah, and that's where I like that 3-5-5 model. I like that a lot, because it still gives you those rivalry games. It gives you those big ticket draws.
The decision makers do not care about the rivalry games and stuff like that. They care about the TV numbers.
But do you think Michigan alums would let them not play Ohio State every year? I don't think boosters would let that happen. And that's the biggest
Here's the
money
question.
base in the Big Ten.
Neil brings up
boosters.
a good point, Spence, because I would have thought not either until he said if not playing them gave you a better ticket because of the schedule playing out to get into the playoff or get to the finals. I think that that's a question to be had, because I don't think a lot of Michigan fans, at the end of the day, you win a national championship is the first thing to go, well, did you play Ohio State?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it doesn't matter. There's the traditional, the rivalry rise, but what Neil's saying, it makes, more point to it. So then you have the argument there, which will always be, well, you didn't have to play them, so.
Sam Flannel, would Michigan fans rather beat Ohio State and not make the playoff, or not play Ohio State and make the playoff and have to play Alabama or Georgia again?
I think beat Ohio State is the most important right now, because you're saying that they'd have to play Alabama or Georgia. They'd get into the playoff and lose.
Yeah.
And then you still have lost to your rival. That's not something that I am okay with. That's not a satisfying season to me. And I think most Michigan fans, especially with all the poundings we've been taking from Ohio State, would rather beat them.
They've been getting rammed.
Is there something amiss, though, that if you did everything you did in the schedule and didn't have to play Ohio State and won in the playoffs, would that tarnish because you didn't play Ohio State along the way?
That is very interesting, because I can say that in 2018 and 2016, the only reason we didn't make the playoff was because we had to play a far superior Ohio State team and got smashed. So I won a national championship so bad I'd give up my left pinky that I would do just about anything. And not having to play Ohio State, I don't hate the idea.
What's he got against his pinky?
I don't know. I don't know what he's got against his pinky. You know something I don't have anything against? Strawberry Fest at Big Boy, because it's back. And tomorrow we will be broadcasting live from Big Boy. DMac may eat an entire strawberry pie. Tune in tomorrow to Big D Energy to find out. They brought back some of the classic breakfast items. The strawberry French toast, which DMac will probably eat. The strawberry pancakes, which DMac will probably have one. And I know he's going to have a strawberry waffle. Look at that thing. If you're watching on the YouTube channel right now, you know he's going to eat that. Not a breakfast guy or gal? Try the new strawberry bacon chicken wrap, crispy chicken wrap, nacho wrap, or strawberry salad. The perfect recipe for springtime. Don't forget to grab dessert. DMac won't.
I won't.
Including the strawberry pie for just $1.99 if you spend $7.99 at Big Boy. Guys, don't lose money. Like, let's look at this from a financial perspective. If you spend $7.99 at Big Boy and you don't get the slice of strawberry pie for $1.99, you just lost money. Trust me, that's the way that like if there's a draft value card, they would say that's a bad trade.
Alavila would do that.
Alavila would pass up the strawberry pie.
You do it, not you.
Not you. That is absolutely right. We'll be live at Big Boy tomorrow. Can't wait. We'll be out there. It's Big Boy, a Detroit institution.
At Wing Snob, staying humble's not our forte. We just have better wings. We're back at it again with our crispy golden brown fries and our famous boneless wings. Juicy, tender, hormone-free chicken. Your favorite signature sauces with no bone. Just when you thought Wing Snob couldn't get any better. Order online at wingsnob.com today. Wing Snob. We just have better wings.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome. Back at it here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, talking Big Ten realignment, division dissolving, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Change is coming, and you're going to see it in the next couple days. The new Big Ten media rights deal will be announced. It'll make your head spin with how much money is involved. And I asked you guys a question. I said, Michigan fans, are you okay if Michigan and Ohio State don't play each other? And 69% of you say no.
Nice.
But what about with my caveat? What about where I tell you if you don't, you have a much better chance of making the college football playoff? That's what history dictates, right? On our YouTube chat poll, Patty Grimes says Alabama plays 4 cupcake in the non-conference every single year. You know, it's funny, Pat, because I went and looked at it, and 2021 they played Miami and they played at Florida, by the way. You know, that's what they did in 2021. Then I looked at it in 2020. Certainly it must be right. Certainly it must be right there, you know, if you look at it. And what they've done and what they have coming up, too. And you look at what they've done with this year's schedule. They're playing at Texas, which, hey, we know what the deal is with Texas. But they're playing at Texas. Like, who else do you want them to play? You know what I'm saying? And they're playing them on the road. They're playing Florida. They're playing Texas on the road. What else do you want them to do? I know that doesn't fit your narrative, but that's what it is. But, I'm not mad at Michigan for setting up the schedule the way they're doing it this year. It's smart. It's absolutely smart because it's a best path to the playoff. No. Now, when we talk about the season and we start looking at teams and cross-comparing them, when Alabama's in the discussion, I'll say, well, you know, they went to Texas and they won at Texas. And I will say that, Sam Flynn. I'm not saying I'm not going to say that. To whereas you played Colorado State, Hawaii, and UConn, and Illinois, and Rutgers, and Iowa. You know what I'm saying? But
Nebraska.
But that's fine, though. Again, I'm not being critical of it. I'm stating it factually. If I were Michigan, guess what? I would do the same thing. And I'm telling you guys, when they do this Big Ten realignment thing, that's what they have their eyes on. The game on the field is like the 4th most important thing. Number 1, how can we get every single dollar from our media rights deal? That's Big Ten objective number 1.
And as you go down there, think about that for everybody. Because the number 1 never existed up until recently, the last few years or whatever, like the social media or whatever, so 20 years ago.
Yeah, the mid-'90s when Notre Dame started with the NBC thing.
What I'm saying is when the big money bounces to number 1 that you're not even dealing with before, you haven't even caveated this, guys that are coaching or universities that are putting these deals together. This was never even a question. So this, and then you throw NIL in there and you change it that the money controls the beginning and it's accessible for everybody. So number 1 is a social media streaming that deal. I just want to bring it to people's because that's what's changed the game. When the number 1 has changed.
Bingo. That's what it is. Which leads me to number 2. We talked about number 1 is get every single dollar you can from your media rights deal. Number 2, which is an extension of number 1, How can you get even more money? That's by getting multiple teams in the playoff. So that's the number two most important thing with what the Big Ten will do with this. How can we get multiple teams into the playoff? And Ryan Nurmi says, take away Ohio State, we keep Michigan out of the playoffs because of a weak strength of schedule. Look me in the eye, Ryan, and tell me that they're not going to take an undefeated Michigan team, regardless of who they play. It doesn't matter who they play. They're taking them, no matter what, because of those television numbers. The games on the field don't matter anymore. They don't matter. And we know this, right? We know this isn't. I'm not shocked the way I was shocked when DMac told me there's no help coming for the Tigers. No, I'm not shocked. We knew this. It was all about money extraction.
Absolutely. And it really is, because then it gives them maneuverability, because you're talking about What are you talking about? You're talking about, you got the SEC talking about, NCAA, you know what I mean? We don't need you. Let's revamp this, which gets all the other conferences that are trying to be the SEC to look down the road and say, oh, well, what are they going to do? Because now, Neal, and especially in the Big Ten, there's more money available to make those things. Follow the money, right? Always follow the money first, because that's what dictates
second, and third.
Because the priority isn't
the game on the
wins.
field. It's not the game on the field.
Plays.
So I just looked up Alabama's non-conference games to into the beginning of 2025. They'll have non-conference games with Oklahoma State, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Ohio State, and Florida State. So I'd say those are pretty tough non-conference games. That's not Hawaii and Colorado State.
And UConn. Don't forget about UConn.
And UConn, yeah, the worst football team in the history of college football.
But guys, don't get it twisted. I'm not being negative about it. It's smart. It's smart.
Yeah, I mean, it's guaranteed dubs. It'll boost your standings.
Because Michigan can rerun the playbook from this year.
Yeah. Undefeated
win one game.
MSU.
Win one game.
Yeah.
Just win one of the three big ones you play, or one of the two big ones you play in a season, and you'll get in.
Yeah.
And that's what it's come down to.
It was a 2-game season for Michigan last year. They only won one of them, and they still got in.
You know why? Doug come in.
But Michigan State run the exact same playbook.
Yeah.
If anything, Alabama's kind of being dumb.
We played in Miami last year. That was you
go play at Miami.
Great,
that's tough.
But it's a tough place to play.
Yeah, De'Aaron King got hurt or whatever. But hey, you went down there. You played the game, man. Good on you.
We smacked them too.
In retrospect, it was kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Why should you have done that? You would have got to the same place.
Yeah, it's fair.
Guys, it's shrunk now. It's 2-game seasons. That's what it is, and you control the schedule. Yeah. So why would they play anybody?
There's the kicker.
It's your schedule.
You control the schedule. So when and it's the same thing as if you figured out the shortest route or the best pathway to your cottage up north that isn't what your maps tells you, you're going to know that way. The secret back road, this and that cuts some time off. You're making your own trip. They're making their own schedule. Right? So they should succeed. And to know that going into it, we need to win this game.
And if you don't think that Michigan didn't see this coming to some degree, you look at their future schedule next year. You ready for this one, Sam Flannel? East Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green.
Oh, dear God. I think that's worse than this year.
Okay.
Worse, less points on the strength of schedule ballot, less multiplications.
Yeah, worse is actually a poor choice of words, because we're going to win those 3 too. Absolute guarantee. I'd bet my life on it.
Yep. Ooh. 24 they have lined up. Fresno at Texas, Arkansas State.
At Texas.
Well, you think they're going to play that game?
I guess we'll just have to see. There has been precedent for backing out of home and home, so
that's where I was going to go with that too. But see, hey, and I'm not mad at them. See, you guys, I think I threw everybody a 3-1 curveball here.
No,
I do.
You're not. You're actually going.
I'm giving it
up. Well played. You've seen the way. And Neal, so am I right in saying that the reason that we're having these conversations and the reason that we're being able to do this even on a more extreme level is because of the money that's coming in?
Bingo. And you're going to this is going to be the norm with everybody, because as I said to Spence, this is universal. This isn't even partisan politics, with the Michigan party or the Michigan State party. Like, why would you play? Michigan State should do the same thing. I haven't looked at what their future schedule is. YT Sparty says Michigan has 4 road games all season with MSU at home.
Yeah, their 4 road games are Iowa, Indiana, Rutgers, and Ohio State.
Like you said, 1 game, 2 games to win. You always got to beat. They got to beat State. Let's not get it twisted.
Yeah.
But it comes down to that. But I think you've narrated what to expect or why it is when you look at everything else.
Yeah, because guys, again,
and to Spencer's point, hey Spence, I agree with what you said as far as having the 3, 4, 5 or the non.
Yeah.
But that would be if your number 4 priority, which is the game itself, was number 1.
That's true.
It's not.
That's a good
so
point.
don't discount how competitive as a fan or whatever that the balance would be over the years, because you'd have that competition on your schedule once a year. But to Neal's point and whatever else, why are you going to do that to yourself when at the end of the day you're just going to take money out of your pocket because you can't get to the big game because you've played too hard to something that didn't mattered maybe to the talent of your team, but not to the whole scheme of things.
Yeah, that's what it is. Let me tell you about, hey, look, you think Michigan's going to win the national title next year? Go to mybookie.com. That's right, the NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. Baseball is here as well. Parlay whoever's playing the Tigers with the under. You'd be a billionaire right now. Mybookie.com, I wouldn't be doing these reads. I'm actually glad you didn't, because they'd be out of business, and they wouldn't be advertising with Woodward right now because they'd owe you $1 billion. But you didn't. So I can tell you, there's no better place to bet on your favorite team than mybookie.com. When you sign up for a new account, use a promo code Woodward. They'll match part of your first deposit in free bets up to 50%. Bet on anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Have a problem with gambling? Get your life together, guys. Come on, the Michigan Gambling Helpline, 1-800-270-7117.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risk, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
Hey, yo, back at it. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, DMac, Darren McCarty here with you. We got Sam Flannel. We got Spencer Raxter. YouTube chat poll. Would you guys be okay if Michigan and Ohio State didn't play every year? And 72% of you say no. And, I don't get... Would you be outraged, Sam Flannel?
I mean, not necessarily because of what you brought up. I want Michigan to win a national championship really bad. And if we don't beat Michigan in a year, it would be nice not to lose to them and still make the playoff. I mean, I'm just saying.
See, okay, let me give you my statement on the Michigan season this year. And you probably have heard me say this before, but I don't remember what your reaction was if I did say it then. When I say Michigan had a 3-game schedule last year, and they went 1-2. They went 1-1, Michigan State, Ohio State, so got in the playoff, and lost to Georgia.
Yeah.
So they had a 3-game season. They went 1-2. And people are saying it's the best season they've had in 2 decades.
And it was. They won a Big Ten title. They went to the playoff. I don't know what that says about the program, but it is factually the best season we've had since 2003.
But is it also factual that it was a 3-game season? Looking back on it.
Yes, that's fair.
Yeah, this is the way of the future, guys. And I'm not mad at it. Jim Harbaugh and Michigan, they wisened up here. But I wonder... And it goes back to what I think you said it, Spencer. It goes back to could you see the Michigan alums and the Michigan Mafia being cool with it?
Yeah.
And that's where, no matter DMac, no matter what we've said, it always comes back to this with Michigan. Are you going to evolve? Right? Because if you do, I gave you the path.
Mm-hmm.
I gave you the path to be a perennial college football playoff contender, and you don't even have to get better. You see what I'm saying? But can they cede the power? Can they cede the control? That's the question.
And here's the thing, right? When in this situation, if we are going to see progress, and they are going to, this might be the first step of, I always compare it to the beginning of who's got it better than us. Look at me. All about the coach, the shine here, how it's changed. We saw that last year. The evolution of this more of a, we're going to show you, right? So maybe this is the pathway to doing it more like the SEC teams. And you nailed it, Neal. If we just got to win this game and everything else is a preparation, I mean, you got to take care of business and go in and win those games. But if your focus on, and I think they figured it out last year, their focus was on that one game. Now, I'm not dismissing Michigan State or whatever, so there's 2 games, because you beat Ohio State. You can't, I don't get it down the road. I talk about rivalries all the time. I talk about us in, 96 and 97 having to go through Colorado to get there. Michigan's rivals more Michigan State than they are Ohio State. They sort of figured it out, but it seems that they've smartening up to the formula. And if they are the leaders and the best, right?
See, you got to get rid of that, dude.
But what I'm saying is, that's them on them, right? That's them shining their own tire. But if they are that, so if you say that about yourself, then start doing it that way. To me, that moniker, leaders and the best, is showing me. It's what Steve Yzerman does. He doesn't tell me. He shows me why he's in charge and the trust. So the trust ain't there. They're not even close to being there. But this is a sign that maybe they're going to utilize their power at the top of the conference and to use it to does the term work smarter, not harder, right? That's maybe what you're seeing.
So
they're being smarter at Michigan.
Baller69 in the chat said Michigan doesn't decide who is good or bad when the schedule comes out. And to be fair to that, Washington, when they scheduled that, Washington was supposed to be a better team.
Right.
But
instead of a team that lost to a non-division, a non-FBS school.
But when you're scheduling Bowling Green, UConn, Colorado State,
and chasing it with Akron or whoever it is that they're chasing it with.
These teams are going to be bad before the schedule comes out.
Yeah.
Bowling Green's going to be a bad team. UConn's going to be a bad team. Hawaii's going to be a bad team. I don't know. I understand it though, like you said. You don't want to lose those games. Why lose a game in the first 3 weeks when you lose that game and you have to beat Ohio State and Michigan State? So
on the YouTube chat thread, they call me Big Daddy Hognuts. I think every all right, hey, do you, man, do you? I think every division in college should have it mixed where. You take Ohio State, Michigan, and Michigan State, they should be playing teams like Georgia, Alabama, and Clemson regularly. Why? Why should those teams do that? Give me the why. So you feel better? So you have better games to watch?
A couple games at the end of the year.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they're playing for, to play at the end.
Remember growing up, it used
where
to
they
be,
get paid $25 million to do it.
Remember when we grew up, it used to be, oh, man, too bad this team can't play this team because there's no pathway to get there because the Big Ten always has been the Rose Bowl. And then the SEC teams, that Miami team, that Florida, it never has been. Now with the expansion, they're finding a way, at least at the end of the year, for the good teams to play it. Too much money involved with injuries of top teams that they're not going to give you the caveat. That's like putting a championship match on regular TV instead of a pay-per-view.
Yeah, so I mean, it is that
because you get enough of those games throughout the season in the SEC. Georgia, Alabama playing each other.
Alabama, LSU.
You're gonna you get that they figure you got that already, and that's what.
And now
the
Texas A&M.
So the SEC's doing the awareness like Michigan is sort of in the Big Ten and going, hey, wait, what? Oh, we got a little bit more power here than we think.
And I'll tell you this. I bet you Alabama, Texas A&M pulls a higher number than Michigan, Ohio State this year. I bet it does.
Oh, because of the
drama and everything like that.
Because here,
and if they're both undefeated,
the Michigan Ohio State is a couple states, and then wherever everybody bleeds, right? Alabama, right? Texas A&M, with the way social media is, with what Nick Saban did, the fact they brought Dion in on it. Don't do that. Don't bring in Prime. He didn't do nothing over there except teaching the kids. But what I'm saying is I agree. I agree. I think everybody's waiting for that, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. But would you consider Saban backtracking?
100%, yeah.
100%, right? Like dang. But is that more of old guy, just didn't know the room?
Absolutely.
Because the way that when Nick Saban came out and he's whining about petitioning that he needs more money, and then he blames everybody else bought it, but we don't do that here. I mean, it's crazy.
Joseph Austin says, if you expand the playoff, it would cut down on the cupcake schedules. And Joe, I don't think that it would, because it's this way now. This is the way it is now. It's a zero-sum game. The only thing that matters is a college football playoff. It's the only thing that matters. It's proven. So why would you make it harder on yourself to get there than when you could make it easier on yourself? It's never going to change. It's only going to continue to go this way. And Michael says the future of college football, who can pick the weakest schedule? It's shameful. Because we've proven we'll move the goalpost to get to that TV rating number that we want, to get to that number where we can go to Fox and say, all right, we want $1 billion for our television rights for football. We'll sell our soul to you for $1 billion. That's how you get that. But DMac,
I've never heard of $1 but that sounds like a whole. That's a lot of zeros,
right? It's a made up number. But that's when you guys see this number that's going to come out either this week or early next week. It's going to look made up on paper, it's going to look like it's not real. That's what it's going to be, guys. I mean, it's absurd what it's going to be. That's what it is now.
And again, you got to remember, you're talking about winning game. You're talking about the competition and the love of the sport. That's number 4 or 5 on their priority list. The Bafillion is number 1.
No question, man.
And that's where ratings and TV and streaming and the everything on the phone, accessibility, who can get it, who can do it now, and because why, Neal? Because that's what's proven that pays the bills, right? If all of this at the end of the day, and you didn't get anything for it, then the move in the goalposts, I think you should expand on that a little bit, because that's why it's all possible.
Strength the schedule.
This is the net in the NCAA, right? Depending on what it is, it's right here. It's been here for years. But you don't really realize that it's swaying, and it's always sort of moving. It's sort of like the gray.
Strength of schedule matters until it doesn't.
Right. I mean, it's like Heisman voting. Strength of schedule and the Heisman vote.
It's
right?
Whatever fits your narrative at the time. And the narrative now is constant.
Right.
That's what it's always going to be.
Everybody's on the same page where now with NIL and all the different money that's being pumped in from either TV or social media or whatever else, at least it's out in the forefront, right? We're talking about it before, and I know a lot of it's come up on the end, but all the things we're talking about, different teams, right? It was allegedly, it was suspected. You've heard Braylon Edwards talk about it, what his experience at Michigan. Everybody else has a story. Now it's just more up front and open. That's why everybody's talking about it and figuring out at the end of the day where the power is. And the power, right? Can you draw? Right?
Right. Gromit 0237, who wouldn't want to play in Hawaii? Well, Gromit, they're not going on the road to do it. Easy.
Yeah, because Neal would already been telling you about, hey, I got this pick for you, but in whenever, in December or whatever like that. But no, they're not, and they're not going on the road. Which, to your point, is setting up the schedule to be easier as possible.
Right, absolutely.
Flying to Hawaii from this conference or whatever. I don't care who you are. You're making that trip.
It's hard.
You gotta take at least a negative point. You know, like I'm saying, it's got to knock you down and run just from that experience.
Ask Michigan State about it last time they were out there. They caught that work from my guy Timmy Chang and Chad Owens. They caught that work.
Everybody else, stuff like that. Speaking of work, you know who does work? Our friends at Alta Equipment. Because they know that when it comes to getting your job completed and on budget, yes, on budget, on schedule and uptime, that matters. That's why Alta Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction. So, with the most diverse rental fleet in the state of Michigan, there's nothing your project can throw at you that Alta can't handle. Give them a call at 844 go to Alta today. That's 844 go to Alta today. Alta Equipment, where uptime matters.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Hey guys, this is Adam from the Morning Woodward Show. Make sure you're checking out Odds Trader so you can make the smartest and best bet possible. They offer all the lines, whether it's from BetMGM, MyBookie, FanDuel, you name it. They have the lines there for you. They allow you to make the smartest decision. So again, make sure you're checking out Odds Trader before you make any betting decision. Odds Trader, your go-to place. Visit oddstrader.com. Again, that's oddstrader.com.
Neal Ruhl here for Planet Fitness. That's right now. $0 down, $10 a month will get you a Planet Fitness membership with access to your home club. No matter where you are, anywhere in the world, there's a Planet Fitness close by, probably. I mean, if you're in the Himalayas or something, there's probably not one there. But there's over 2,000 Planet Fitnesses. Or no, we said Planet Fitni, right?
Planet Fitni.
There's over 2,000 Planet Fitni around the world. And with your Black Card membership at just $22.99 a month, that's right, less than $1 a day, you can have access to all of them with all unlimited use of the amenities as well. You can join in club today. You're going to pass 2 on the way home. Pull up on them. Join up there. Really motivated? Jump on that computer right now. Go to planetfitness.com. It's Planet Fitness, DMac.
Where your fitness is essential.
Back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, DMac, Darren McCarty here in the house. Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxer, all of you on our YouTube chat thread as well. And just be prepared, everybody, for these numbers. When they pop off, it is going to be incredible with what just a massive amount of dollars when the Big Ten announces their next media rights deal. And make no mistake, guys, the action on the field doesn't matter. It all takes a backseat to this. Chuck Brewer says strength of schedule mattered when it was a 2-team playoff. Not so much now. Won't matter at all if they expand again. And Chuck, I'd argue strength of schedule doesn't matter now either, because it's going to be about, look, do you guys think if Cincinnati didn't beat, I mean, it couldn't be as egregious as Cincinnati beating Notre Dame at Notre Dame. You think if it was between Cincinnati and Notre Dame, they didn't play each other? You didn't think Notre Dame was going to get in there no matter what? No matter what.
Oh, absolutely. Million percent. We can all agree that. And that's where, Neal, I think, again, going to the competition-wise, you know, when it comes down to it, if we keep it at 4 or with a playoff, but where do we get it so where the teams are more on the same level, right? Where we see more of that competition coming down to it, right? And hopefully, with this new money, with these schedules, with everything else, like you mentioned, it seems like Michigan's starting to get it, right? Starting to figure it out, putting themselves in the best position, working smarter, not harder. It'll be interesting to see.
Ryan's reaction says how there are a bafillion Planet Fitni. I mean, they're angling towards that. Ryan's reaction also said Notre Dame blows. You know what's interesting too is Notre Dame. But I think Notre Dame's another case study in it, because I think that Notre Dame shares a lot of Michigan's qualities, where Notre Dame could do this very easily too, but they choose not to. And I've always said, I don't know why Notre Dame would join a conference because they get all the TV money. But I'm wondering about, can they get more than $70 million a year, $80 million a year to be on NBC? I think that's the line in the sand that NBC would draw. Where if they're not going to get any of the playoff games, then that's not a money-making proposition.
Well, I think that's an ongoing conversation. And now that things have changed in that market, right? Because before it used to be, here's the TV deal, and Notre Dame had the NBC TV deal, so that was, things went along. It was sort of the norm. It didn't matter. This was the way it was. Well, things are changing now. So I think the conversation is there more money out there? And it's not, and it is because NBC will only be able to pay you this, and can they go make more money and be elsewhere with other things? So that's a conversation. But I think that Notre Dame really, out of anybody in college football, they do it their own way, and they don't care. And at the end of the day, it's not about championships, right? To them. It isn't.
No, it's about with them, it's about control.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
And most people, that's what it's about.
But they've relinquished the fact that they can control what they can control. And so their recruiting is the fact that you're on TV every week, no matter what, right? On NBC. Here, your grandma needs one TV station. We're going to get her NBC so she can watch her grandma. Like, there's so many different things. Now, when the money supersedes and Notre Dame realizes they can go get more elsewhere, that's when the conversation comes.
That's when the conversation changes. And Jack Harrington says Notre Dame needs to join a conference already. No, they don't. No, they don't. It's going to come down. I think their rights are up in 2025 too. That's when their contract with NBC is over. And that's when the
conversation.
And that's when the conversation will be. They don't need to join a conference. They've been to the playoff more times than Michigan has, right? Not in a conference, getting all their TV money, doing it that way. They don't need to do that. Until it makes financial... Guys, the field doesn't matter. Have we accepted that? Can we take that to the YouTube chat poll?
Does the field matter?
Yeah. Have we accepted that what happens on the field doesn't matter anymore? Have we accepted that? And you know what I'm saying. Don't give me the technical stuff about it. Oh, that's how they keep track. No, you guys know what I mean. The boardroom is a bigger time playing field than the actual playing field is now. And that's how this stuff's going to be dictated. It is. And we're a big event society. And guess what? We'll eat it up. When Alabama plays Texas A&M, we'll eat that up. I'm already planning the calendar, DMac. I will be watching Alabama, Texas A&M.
Absolutely.
I don't care where I am in America. I'll be watching it.
We'll bitch and moan and complain and whatever, but when they move the goalposts, we'll move our chair.
I like that line right there. We will. I wonder, have they made their peace with that? Because that's what it is. Rack, I feel like after this week, Neal is going to have a bafillion Gypsy Vodkas this weekend.
Oh, well, that was already in stone 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. Guys, the calendar this weekend is empty.
The last few days, though, I think that there might be an extra. You grabbed the 2 bottles for the weekend and you took a couple steps and you went back and you grabbed just that extra bottle just in case.
Right.
In case things popped off.
It's going to be more. It's going to be more than a bafillion. I have no games to do. I have nowhere to be.
No, it's going to be on. We might. Hey, you know what? If we're lucky, we might get like that 10 o'clock. Just feeling it. All right, update. All right, guys. I know this going in, and we might get one of those live videos updates as Neal and the Glossy Glow, and they can tell us really. And that easy. I'll tell you. So we'll see.
No, it is. It's going to be. I can't wait for this weekend. Weather's supposed to be nice at least Sunday and Monday. So I'm pretty hype. I'm pretty hype about that. Ryan's reaction. Neal, Citron and Gypsy Vodka mixed. Whatever. Rob J. Neal going on a drinking binge. I'll stop short of a binge because a binge that's a negative connotation.
Is excessive.
Yeah. Like I'm not doing it because I have to do it. Doing it because I want to do it.
Yeah. Hardcore.
Yeah.
And a binge technically has to carry into 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just going to be 2 days, and that's it. Friday.
Oh, that's called a weekend.
Yeah, Friday I'm going to get that lawn. I'm going to get all the responsibilities done Friday.
Yeah.
We need pictures. We need somebody to document so you can teach on how to set up for this excursion, just like anything else. Just like you've had to prepare. Right, for the last month, 2 months, with all the different games, flying here, there. There's a preparation to properly enjoy a weekend. right?
Rack, we need an emergency press conference this weekend. Should I live stream? Should I live stream the weekend?
Live stream, Jimbo, press conference.
Sell it to Netflix, man.
Oh
Get
my
Netflix
gosh.
on the phone.
Let's go.
Sell it to them.
I like
Sell it to them.
I think it would work.
Yeah, it will work. Let's do this. Let's take the break. I want to save the Vasilevskiy thing till tomorrow.
We should.
Are we
Save
cool
it
with
till
that?
tomorrow.
Yeah,
We're cool with that.
Want to just do Ask DMac after the break? Or?
Yeah, we'll do the ask. Hey, get the questions ready for Ask DMac. We'll do it, man. You guys seem to like it. I like it. DMac likes it, most
like it a
importantly.
lot.
So let's do it after I tell you about Gypsy Vodka. Hey, they have this read for me here about the mulligan and drinking it on the golf course and stuff like that. Let me tell you about hey, and there it is too on the screen. So you're seeing it right there. Like you can have it, and it's made by Gypsy, so you know that it's good. Let me tell you about my weekend and how Gypsy Vodka will be involved. We're going to pour it into a glass with some ice and some club soda and some lime, and then we're going to go to the golf course, and we're going to go up there and say, hey, can you pour some and some ice with some club soda and a lime? And then when we get back from the golf course, repeat. That's how it's the weekend of Gypsy for me. That's the way it's going to work. It can be for you too. If you don't have it yet, if you haven't tried it yet, it's a very simple process. Go to the store, ask for it by name. Say, I want some Gypsy vodka. And boom, you are in there. You have the best tasting, smoothest vodka on the market today. Little bonus for you. They got a cool bottle, and it's locally made in Petoskey, Michigan. It's a Michigan-made product. So there it is, guys. And just remember through this weekend, I will remember this. Occasionally, I'll text these guys this. As always, drink responsibly.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Strawberry Fest is back at Big Boy. We brought back some of the classic breakfast items like the strawberry French toast, hot cakes, and waffle. If you're not feeling breakfast, try our new strawberry bacon chicken wrap, crispy chicken wrap, nacho wrap, or strawberry salad. The perfect recipe for springtime. And don't forget to grab dessert, including our berry delicious strawberry pie for only $1.99 with the purchase of $7.99 or more at participating Big Boy locations.
What's going on, everybody? It's Spencer for the Fulling Warehouse in Hamtramck. You know it. You've heard about it. It's the home of the original football bowling pin game called Fulling. You can go down there, have a good time with your family and friends, host your corporate party, your team building event, whatever you want. Multiple ways you can play. They have $12 open unlimited play. You can stay there open till close, day till night, throw your arm off, have a good time. They also have private lane reservation, $120, 10 people. You get a lane, you have fun. You know about their $2 mystery beer vending machine. You put in $2, pops you out a good beer, no hassle, no fuss needed. Know what you want to make a decision. They have multiple fully loaded bars for you to choose from. So come on down to Hamtramck and check them out in person or visit them online at fullingwarehouse.com. Again, that is fullingwarehouse.com.
Final segment of the show, Big D Energy. Neal Ruhl, DMac, Darren McCarty will be live at Big Boy in Brighton tomorrow. Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. Can confirm, too, about throwing till your arm falls off. I was at Foaling on Saturday, as a matter of fact. I did the mystery craft beer.
Oh, nice.
Because I'm too snobby.
Fancy.
For the general.
No light beers around here. Craft beers only.
I did do a mystery craft beer. I'm not going to lie.
What'd you get?
I forget the name of it, but it was good.
Okay.
It was good. It was $4 well spent.
Nice.
$4 for a craft beer, man.
$4 for a mystery craft beer?
Strong to quite strong, I thought.
Heck yeah.
Shoulder was burning, though. I'm not going to lie to you.
I bet. You got to loosen up for that.
Yeah, it was, man. All right, it's time for Ask DMac. It's our favorite segment of the show. Let's just jump right in. Kevin T. DMac, what was your take on the Islanders firing Barry Trotz because the Red Wings were potentially interested in Lambert?
No, that's not the way it works. The Islanders got their guy, and obviously it was Lou Lamoriello. I think it was Lou Lamoriello, my way, Barry Trotz moving on. I think in their organization they realized that they didn't want to lose Lane Lambert, but he was going to get a job offer somewhere else if they didn't take him. So that's what you usually want, and progress is built from within. If it works, it's not going to work in our case, but congratulations to him. But That had no inkling. He wasn't even on my short list.
Dave Schultz says Easy probably gets wasted off of one mulligan. He probably does, as a matter of fact. Lions Rumble, ask DMac, can the Tigers learn anything from this year's debacle of a season?
Yeah, you always have to learn, right? But you have to learn what is it you're going to learn. The things that you want to learn are for the young guys that are going to be here. So it's all about the development of the Torkelsons, the Scoobles. Can you get Mize healthy? Manning, what do you have? But at the end of the day, remember I always talk about the Red Wings at the end of the season, beginning of the season, you might have had 6 or 7 guys you thought that would be a part of it. Now there might be 4. It's not going to change as far as moving forward. You got 3 guys. That's it. That's all. The rest of them are journeymen or guys that are going to make too much or just aren't going to win you a championship. I'm talking about winning championships. I'm not talking about finishing,
getting to the playoffs.
Getting to the playoffs. No, I'm talking about winning championships. So there's a lot to be learned. Just what it is you got to learn how much you hate how to lose. But I don't think there's too many of the guys. You just don't want the detriment to be in the younger guys.
Jack Harrington asked DMac, did you know that Crystal with an X is actually Adam's daughter? Did you know that?
I did not, but look at my surprise face.
Baller69 asked DMac, my dad's birthday is the 22nd of June. Any way I could get an autograph for him?
Here's the autographs here. I need something to sign or whatever like that. So I would, there's absolutely how you're going to do it. That's up to you. You're right. You got to get below my hand with a pen in it. Send something in. Ask the people here. I mean, I would expect that maybe that's something that you would email the Woodward Sports Network people at.
There you go. Let me see here. Ask DMac, who would win an Oklahoma drill, Neal or Stick?
Oh, Neal all day. All day.
Neal
so, wait, that's a drinking game, right? right.
It depends, yeah.
No, I don't know. Didn't play football. So is that the corner battle out of the corner in hockey? Last man standing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't even know there was a puck there.
Detroit Dabber, DMac, who had the weirdest habits or weirdest drink behind the bench? Gretzky drank Diet Coke. Ovechkin drinks Coke. Any similar things on the Red Wings? Like on the bench?
I'm more apt to have a Coke. Well, Scotty was always chomping ice, right? If you're watching the bottom line today, somebody asked Maz to do a Scotty Bowman do an ice impersonation. It's really good behind the bench. Like he always does one where Scotty be just ripping a ref up and down or whatever. But then when he's right, he always goes to the ice. You always see him behind the bench chewing ice and stuff like that.
So, and he was just chomping on it,
chomping ice. Just ice. Some guys do that for nerves. I would be more I know Eisenman drank Coke. A lot of us.
Like during the game?
Yeah. You have one in there.
That's wild, isn't it?
Sip on it. Caffeine, a lot of guys coffee and stuff, but
yeah, I knew the caffeine stuff. That's big in the baseball clubhouse too.
Yeah, but no, there'd be a couple Cokes on the bench.
A couple quick ones here before we ride out. DBQ25, DMac, do you think Edmondson will be on the Red Wings next year?
Yes, I hope so. I pray.
We
need him. It doesn't have to be, but I mean, with the progress of what you see, because here's the thing, right? It's look at the tea leaves. Look at the process of what you saw, the conveyor belt. What do I preach always? The flow. What flow did you see from the Swedish Elite League into the NHL, right? 2 guys, Joe Veleno last year, Mo Seider, Lucas Raymond, 3 guys, whatever like this. Their development came from over there. So last year with what we saw from a bunch of those guys, I expect a lot of those guys to get that opportunity. But number one, Edvinsson, just like Seider on the blue line. And hopefully we're talking about him just like we were talking about Seider this year for the Calder Trophy. Yeah. So, but it's not the end-all be-all if you need some time in the minors.
Last one here for the show. Rack, ask DMac, what's worse, Easy's takes or the Tigers this year? Whew. That's a minus 110 both sides. James Harden. James Harden to a max deal.
This is how bad it is, Rake. My man Rake. This is how bad it is. Thank goodness that we're going to bring the gold from the bottom of Oak Island up next season because I can wait for that. But I would rather sit around and listen to easy tell me hockey opinions than watch these gosh darn Tigers. I will see you guys tomorrow with a whole bunch of strawberry stuff in front of me from Big Boy, but that's it.
I can't wait
Tigers,
for those waffles.
no bueno.
Tomorrow, Big Boys in Brighton. Big D Energy will be in the house. Until then, for DMac, for Sam Flannel, for Spencer, and everybody here at Woodward Sports, thanks for watching Big D Energy. Well, see you later.